Hey there, happy day 758. Sharon, what's she up to now? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Are you carrying the ball or passing the buck? This is my thought as I started to type the heading into this particular post or video today, because I was talking about carrying the ball for my Supersize Your Business video. And of course, carrying the ball is all about us taking personal responsibility. It's our job to control what happens in our own lives, right? As much as sometimes we would like to blame other people or be a victim, and we all have those experiences, it's ultimately our personal responsibility to create the life that we want, to carry the ball for our life, to be in control of our own life, right? And I think a lot of us, in a lot of times in our life, and when I was younger, I didn't think I had personal control for my life. I thought that my job was just to respond to the things around me that happened as best I could, right? Call that situational management in corporate America, right? So whatever happens, whatever situation comes up, it's your job to be flexible and flow and figure out what to do in that situation. That's why it's called situational leadership or situational management. I don't know why that popped in my head. One of my friends was talking about it yesterday on her, in her group. But carrying the ball, sometimes it's appropriate for us to carry the ball. With respect to our own personal lives, it's always our responsibility to carry the ball. We can try to not pay attention. We can try to not be aware of that. We can pretend it's not a responsibility. We can pass the buck. We can place the blame. We can make excuses. But ultimately, and we always know it on the inside, it's our responsibility to decide what we're going to think, how we're going to feel, how we're going to react to everything, how we're going to show up in our relationships and in our life and in our jobs and in our businesses and for our families, and for ourselves and our own health. It's always ultimately our responsibility. That means we have to carry the ball. We try to carry the ball as moms and grandmas and significant others. We try to carry the ball for other people, and sometimes we do carry the ball for other people. When we're raising our kids, we help them and we teach them and we guide them. But at some point, we have to pass the ball to them and let them discover and grow and be who it is that they want to be. And for some of us, that's really hard. Sometimes when we see our kids struggling, it is really hard to shut the heck up and back off and let them learn from their own mistakes. Nothing harder for some of us controlling mothers than to let our kids make mistakes or to get their hearts broken. But the truth is, we can't do everything for them. We can't feel for them. We can try to instill values and beliefs and things and to lead them down the path of a happy life, but it's ultimately up to each individual on the planet to choose their experiences, to choose how they want to feel, how they want to respond, how they want to react to things. And that to me is carrying the ball for your own life. You can always think of examples of people that take responsibility. It's their job to make sure things get done right and to control and manage things. You know, think managers, think leaders of any organization, think parents. Parents, it's their job to carry the ball and to lead their family, right? To lead your family unit, whatever that family unit looks like. But sometimes we have to remember to pass the ball and let other people grow into who it is that they want to become as well, and help set them up for success, right? Me as a parent, I think it's my job to set my kids up for success. Now, as I look back at that experience, there are times when I epically failed as a parent, right? I wasn't there sometimes. I was working too much. Sometimes I should have known certain things were going on with my kids and I wasn't aware of it. And I'm sure I could make excuses at the time. I was too busy. I was too busy creating a business and a life for them. I was too busy traveling for my corporate jobs, whatever. But I didn't necessarily always set them up for success. I didn't always be the best example, right? We try to be the best example we can for our kids, but it doesn't mean we're always the best example. We make mistakes. We're human, right? But we want to set other people up for success as well as setting ourselves up for success. We want to make sure that we paint the vision and the picture for the people that we're bringing along with us on our adventure called life, on our journey, on what it is that we're creating. So I actually love this expression, carry the ball, because it reminds me how important and how critical personal responsibility is to each and every one of us. But it also reminds me that to help other people, to give and contribute to other people, sometimes we need to carry the ball for them. Sometimes we need to help them in ways that will move them forward faster than if we didn't help them. It's the whole, sometimes we need to ask for help, right? Sometimes we're not capable of carrying the ball. I had a sudden cardiac arrest a while back, and for several months, I was not capable of carrying the ball. There's aspects of my life right now that I am not capable of carrying the ball, and I need to delegate and ask for help in those areas. I am visually challenged and haven't driven now a car for 2 years. It sucks. I gotta tell you, the depending on other people to get you around all the time, it messes with my ability to do what I want, when I want, where I want, with whomever I want, wearing whatever I want, right? It messes with my identity of who I've always been. And I'm getting used to it, right? I'm looking for the upside of it. I'm looking for the, all the time and energy I don't waste running around, procrastinating, doing things that instead of doing the things I really want, should do to move my life in the direction I want it to. But it's an adjustment, and it means that I need to pass that ball to someone else to make sure that I get around, right? And it's fun and it's easier. Life is actually easier when we're in control of the things we want to control. But sometimes it's all about letting go of the reins and letting other people lead and other people grow and other people develop and create, because that helps them to create the life that they want. So carrying the ball, just thinking about that today. Lots of challenges. I've got literally lots of challenges going on right now. I'm creating the live challenge workshop and kind of just paying attention to the field, working on a book with respect to challenges, which I should not talk about until I actually have it done. But that's not true, because this piece is me talking about what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Excuse me. It's talking about coughing in the middle of your videos, right? Challenge with live videos is they are live. Stuff happens and you can't edit it out. Sometimes you get that tickle in your throat and you have to cough. So challenges. Live challenge workshop, March 23rd, coming up. It's teaching people how to do their own challenges to get whatever result they want, or to get the result that they want for their people. Now, I've found in my massive years of business experience, both corporate, for billion-dollar companies and on my own, that the biggest thing most business owners like me have ever needed and wanted is more customers and more clients and more sales, right? More money, more profits. And that always boils down to customers, right? And there's only a few ways to make more money in your business. You get more new customers, you get existing customers coming back or spending more, or you get a bigger, there's a whole bunch of little strategies about that. But really, it boils down to like 3 ways, and they all involve customers. So one of the most popular challenges that I ever run is how to get more customers, in a 5-day challenge or something. And depending on the business or the people that I'm creating that challenge for will determine how that is phrased or how that is worded to attract people to me. But the whole point of the live challenge workshop is to teach you how to do your own challenges, and how not only for your business, but actually just for you personally. So working on that, working on the workbook for that, and some of the clean up the funnels and the structures and the behind the scenes things for that. And I'm not sure I'm going to be traveling in March now, but I was planning on being on the road for a couple of weeks in March, and there's other things going on, so that may or may not happen. And that's why I put the date off till the 23rd. Now I'm kind of wishing I had made it sooner, but it doesn't matter. It'll get done. And right now I'm doing, today is the bonus day, the 6th day of the sugar challenge, doing a sugar challenge where I didn't eat any sugar for 5 days. And I'll decide, I haven't decided yet, it's morning, I haven't decided, but I probably won't eat much sugar for the rest of this week, just to kind of reinforce for me, I don't need sugar every day, right? I don't need to eat a bunch of processed sugar and sweets every day just because I'm hanging out with a 4-year-old, right? That's a bad excuse and a bad reason. Because it's in my face, I eat it. No, just because it's there doesn't mean it has to go into my mouth. That's a lesson I needed to reinforce for myself. So bonus day, I'll do the video for that next. Day 4, actually, of something my sister told me about, and it's I call it the fast 16, where you fast for 16 hours of the day and you only eat in an 8-hour window. And I had heard about this before, but it wasn't the time for me to look at it and explore it. So now I'm doing that. Day 4. I'm not documenting that anywhere because I was doing the sugar challenge when I decided I would do that as well. So, excuse me. I may start documenting that. We'll see. Also doing Michelle Verlog's Content Crushers 5-day challenge. And I love what she's doing with it. She has added a spy theme for fun, and she's actually doing a point system where everybody that's in it participates, and they do tasks every day to earn points. And at the end, she'll do a drawing on Saturday after the 5 days, and she will pick the winners based on points. Or draw the winners. I don't know what she's doing. She's got thousands of dollars of prizes that she went out and got from other people, kind of like we used to do for, my sister does this with her class reunions. Their committee goes out and they get local businesses and area things to donate a bunch of prizes and things for their class reunion or for their fundraising events. People do this all the time for fundraising. Well, she's done this for her challenge, which I think is brilliant, right? And I may model that behavior. I may ask some other people to contribute some cool prizes or donate some things like I did in my Women's Summit a year ago to help people, number one, get introduced to them and what it is that they provide for services and what they can do to help people. And number two, just to add interest and fun to the upcoming challenge. I don't know if I'll do a theme. I really like that idea of a theme, and it's fun because I did a theme on my Supersize Your Business page. You go in and you do a scavenger hunt. You do a scavenger hunt and have to find clues throughout that. So maybe I'll do a scavenger hunt theme or something for my challenge. I haven't thought about that, but I might do that because that would be a really fun, low-key way to participate. But we'll think of it. I don't know if a scavenger hunt is really a theme or not. It's, I get to decide. It's my challenge, right? One Funnel Away is in week 2. The ClickFunnels challenge, we're in week 2 of that. What else? There's another couple challenges going on that I am consciously not participating in. Both of them I've actually gone through their challenge before. So really interesting, but once I go through it, I don't really need to go through somebody else's challenge over and over and over again. Especially when I went through the first time and got the result that they were promising. I don't necessarily want or need to do that again. I am a challenge maniac, right? I love challenges. I love doing them. I love leading them. I love setting myself up for success by doing challenges over and over and over again. And that's why I want to teach people how to do it, because there's this belief that they're so hard and impossible, and you're seeing more and more people do them as a strategy, but it's more than just a business strategy, right? Challenges are a foundational thing that should be a part of all of our experiences and our repertoires. And what I like best about them is they're a way to commit to yourself that you're going to get a result in a specific period of time. It's goal setting, right? Challenges are goal setting and actually goal getting, because you're going to do something every day to move you toward that and ensure that you actually achieve that goal. What people don't realize is getting what we want is so much easier than we think it's going to be. It's harder, but it's easier. It's just a matter of putting forth consistent effort to move you in the direction of what you want, right? And we will overcomplicate the daylights out of it. I am like the queen of overcomplication of pretty much everything in my life, right? So it's funny for me to talk and say that, but it's so true. And my biggest challenge to put forth this challenge going forward is, how do I simplify it? Because I tend to give everybody everything, including the kitchen sink, and I need to back off because it's too much. It overwhelms people, and they don't want to be overwhelmed. They just want to know, what is the next thing I need to do? And how do I know that? Because that's the thing I want. I want to know, what is the next thing I need to do to move me toward my goal? Not the next 10 things, not the next 21 things. I love it. I love Jack Canfield, but I read his book, and I'm not going to remember the name of it right now, but it's about success principles, but he's got like a gazillion of them, and the book's this thick. And then there's other people that will write an entire book, a 289-page book on the importance of now, right? So there's a whole spectrum of us and what works for us, and we have to just always filter things through what is right for me. What is right for me right now, right this instant? Not what is right for me so that I don't have to move myself toward my goal, but what is right for me right now. So lots of challenges going on purpose, right? I always have lots of challenges going on purpose. What else is going on? Fun Day Challenge, actually doing one fun thing every day, 365-day challenge. Today was day 49, so that was fun. It's all about book that's your best friend? That was fun. What book is your BFF? And I've had a couple, but one of the books, and I actually went and looked it up today because for some reason I had a mental block against it, which for the last like week or so, which tells me I need to find the book and I need to look at it again for some reason. I don't know the reason, but I know I need to. And that is Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting by Lynn Grabhorn. If you ever feel like you are stuck and you don't know what to do, I can't recommend that book highly enough. Love the book. Read it several times, given it to dozens and dozens of people, including the workbook, including my children, because almost all of us at some point find ourselves in this holding pattern of our life where we're doing what we think we should do, but something doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right for us, or we feel off, or we're frustrated or stressed out or just unhappy. And following my sudden cardiac arrest, I read that book. I don't know, I'm trying to think if I heard of it before, but I read it after my sudden cardiac arrest, and I immediately got the workbook and started going through it. And that was one of the times when I learned about committing to myself and not letting myself off the hook. I told myself that I had to go through each and every exercise in that workbook in order, and I couldn't move on to the next one until I finished each one in order. And I got to one of the exercises, and I don't even remember what it was now. I could look in my book, I'm sure, my workbook, and I was stuck. I couldn't do it. I could not make myself do it. And every day for like months, like at least 2 months, I would look at that page, I wouldn't do it, and I would go about the rest of my day, and I was stuck. I was stuck there, and I wouldn't let myself look ahead. I couldn't go on. I couldn't do anything until I did that exercise. And then finally, after a couple of months of looking at that page every single day, I was like, why the heck aren't you doing this? Just do the exercise. And it was because there was some internal things and beliefs and stuff that I had to get over, right? And as soon as I did that exercise, which took about 10 minutes, by the way, I broke through and I finished the rest of the book in like a couple of weeks. But it turns out that exercise in the book was the one that I personally needed the most. And it's why I was resisting it. I didn't want to change. I didn't want to own up to whatever it was I had to do for that exercise. I didn't want to look at parts of my life and parts of myself and parts of my behavior. I was scared. I didn't want to look at it. And so for days and weeks and months, I didn't do it. But since I had committed that I wasn't going to go on and finish the rest of that book and that workbook until I did them in order, I had the breakthrough I needed. I had the growth that I needed. And I would say that that book is one of my best friends, and it has definitely positively impacted my life. So if you ever feel stuck, I can't recommend highly enough Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting. Check out the book. And I think there's a couple other versions of it now, like Excuse Me, Your Life is Now or something. Lynn Grabhorn has since passed away, but love that book. Absolutely love that book. And I have to thank Jim Edwards for turning me on to the workbook, because he's the one on the gym boat after my sudden cardiac arrest who told me that there was a workbook to go with it, and I got the workbook and I did it. And so I was in his coaching program that next year, and I think he probably gave me a hard time about spending so much time on one exercise. Probably did. It said, what are you waiting for? Get it done. So I actually finally did. So what book would be your best friend? I would love if you would share in the comments below a book that you love and has impacted your life. I mean, I think of books over time. I actually believe that the book that's my best friend is the book I'm reading or listening to right now, because I've literally read thousands and thousands. I couldn't even tell you how many books I've read in my life. It's a challenge now with my vision, but I still find ways to absorb material because I love it. So what book or books have you found that you absolutely adore? Share one in the comments below so that other people can learn from it, so I can learn from it. When my kids were little, Goodnight Moon, love that book. Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree, I grew up with that book, and I love that book, and we read it every Christmas. Just books like that have a special meaning for us, and stories that have a meaning and an enlightening aha moment for us. Those are the ones we tend to love and think are our best friends. I love books because you can read a book, you can put it down, you can come back to it and pick up right where you left off, or you can go back and you can read parts over and over again. And every time, there's certain books that I'll read over and over again. Think and Grow Rich. I can't tell you how many times I've read that book. And every time I read it, I get something different and something new out of it. It's like going on a walk in the state park by where I live and looking for something beautiful every day. I knew I was going to walk there every day for years, and I thought, how can I make this interesting and fun? So I decided I would look for something new and beautiful that I hadn't seen before every single day. And for years, I have, every time I've gone there, found something new and beautiful and different that I hadn't noticed before. Because guess what? Nature's pretty infinite, right? There's so many things that our brain filters out and we don't even see. But we can always find ways to look at things the way we want to see them. Here's the other trick. We only see what we want to see and what we'll let ourselves see. So sometimes the trick is to take down our filters and be open to seeing other opportunities and seeing other things. That's it. That's all I've got today. Go out, make an absolutely fantastic day. If I can help you in any way, ask in the comments below. I might not know the answer, but I'll find you somebody who does, or I'll put you in the right direction, because one of the biggest things that stops us is the belief that we don't know what to do next. And the act of just asking opens up the floodgates, and all of a sudden we know exactly what to do. Or somebody gives us some advice and tells us, hey, try this, do this next. Research this, look into this, ask this person, call this person, whatever it is. And that is like that chapter in the Lynn Grabhorn book. I just needed to do it and take action and move toward it, and all of a sudden the floodgates open. And the same is true of asking when we ask for help or whatever. All right, have a fantastic day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow with an update on what I'm doing as I transition from the brick and mortar world of real businesses and corporate America to the online world. Bye. Have a great day.